Right. I guess I'm not as important as I thought.
Ratings have never been better, Joe.
Exactly. But on top of all of that, though, as a QB, like he got to sit back because as a QB, you so locked into the game that you don't really get a chance to sit back and pay attention. But he was a spectator, and he like, man, this defense is really like that. So if I just get it together offensively.
He's talking
who's stopping
He's
us?
talking right now.
Is he really?
Open locker room from the email that I got from the Browns is 11:50.
Right.
I haven't seen any tweets or anyone put out anything besides.
Well, sometimes they're a little bit late. Sometimes it might that 11:50, but I would keep an eye out on Browns media because
also Dustin Hopkins, the AFC Special Teams Player of the Week. Hey!
All he does is hit 50-yard field goal.
He's only missed 2 field goals, right?
I think 1.
I thought it was 2. I thought he missed 1 this past week and then 1
Maybe.
He's missed 2 in the season now.
But he's hit a 40-yarder in 4 straight games.
Yeah.
He's been very,
and that's
very
the Browns'
good.
record.
Yeah.
Not even
very,
Phil Dawson
very
did
good.
that.
He been out here. He been kicking the rock. It's been going straight down the middle. And by the way, that's a new stat too. We coined a new stat.
The
straight
50 plus.
The straight down the middle. We don't like.
I know.
We don't like no deviation. If it ain't down the middle, that's how you know you got a solid kicker.
Hey, you know what would be great if the NFL ever goes to this? They have a radar beam on the crossbar that shoots up.
They should have.
And you get more points if it's directly down the middle. And if it just barely sneaks in, you get less points.
You know what?
You get a 4th point for
So you get
down the middle.
4 if it's right over the middle. You get 3 if it's within a margin of like a foot.
Yeah. Speaking
and
of
if
which,
it barely hits, if it just misses the upright, you get 1.
why do we
that.
not have technology at this point?
I know.
Where we know for sure if it's a first down, where we know for sure if it hits the goal line.
They have it in soccer.
How is that not in the ball?
I don't know
How have we not
because
figured that
soccer
out yet?
has it where on an offsides call,
VAR.
it's no more is it a guess or even a look on replay.
Right.
You can see where the ball is and there's technology that spots it.
I don't know how we don't have that in football.
I don't either.
Because they don't want people talk about accuracy, right?
Yeah.
The same reason that there's no robots calling balls and strikes.
No, the reason there's no robots calling balls and strikes is they haven't perfected that yet. That's a lot more complicated than a football being, inbounds or out of bounds, something like that.
I feel like they want the human aspect to it because they feel like they're humans.
Yeah, but I saw the human aspect on that bad spot and then that bad measurement and then that bad this right here.
Because it swings 2 ways, though. For every bad human element, another fan base is happy that was hit bad human element.
That's true.
Right. We just don't want
a good call to one fan base is a bad call to another.
I think the worst NFL call that's happened in the past 10 years was whenever that Rams and Saints game, that playoff
Well, it
game.
decided
that was the worst.
That was
as bad as ever.
like
absolutely.
Outside of that, everything else.
They changed the rule on pass interference.
They had to.
Because the next year it was reviewable, and then they had it for a couple seasons. They're like,
gone
no,
now.
that's gone.
Yeah, because people was just throwing the challenge flag.
I've always said there should be an eye in the sky official that should be able to correct any mistake, whether it's currently a reviewable play or not. But it's got to be quick. If you can correct it within 30 seconds, you correct it.
Yeah, it's really hard for it to be quick because there's so much going on.
Well,
like in tennis has it right. It's perfect. If you've been to a big tennis match in
but
real
that's
time,
easy with tennis.
they put it up on the screen, and within 2 seconds of the point being over, you're like, oh, no, that was out.
Yeah.
And there's no challenge. There's no nothing. The video never lies. The technology doesn't lie.
When that little shadow ball they showed on
Yeah,
the screen.
By the way, before we
like,
get to DPJ and before we get to
Kool-Aid meter.
the latest on Watson and Kool-Aid meter as well, another part of the reason Watson may want to come back is you're not facing the Ravens defense, you're not facing the Niners defense, you're facing the Colts this week.
You're right.
Colts are not a very good
He
defense.
wants a piece of that.
We're going to talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Don't worry. They've given up a 100-yard receiver in 4 of their 6 games this season.
All right,
Right.
so
Speaking
DPJ's
of
up for a big game
receivers,
then.
DPJ is about to go off.
Well, hopefully he just gets found. He has been a
Yeah.
non-existent factor in the Browns' offense this season. And my question to you guys, he had almost 900 yards, 3 touchdowns last year. What has happened? Where's the production? Where's he been?
I think this conversation is insane to me. How Donovan Peoples-Jones was a 6th-round pick who has overachieved his entire career. He's not that good a player. he's
running for fun.
I blame him almost nothing for his lack of production. They haven't thrown him the ball. The quarterback play for the Browns outside of the Titans game has been horrendous. What's he supposed to do?
Tyvis,
Well, he had 900 last year with Jacoby Brissett.
But Jacoby, first of all, that's a whole
get 'em
season.
together.
This has been 5 games so far.
What's he averaging a game?
Would
16
you
yards
not
per
agree
game.
that the quarterback play has been horrendous outside
Well,
of the Titans?
he's
game?
on pace to have less than 300 yards.
Well, that doesn't
receiving.
mean he's going to have less.
No, it does not.
Why is it his fault if they're not throwing him the
Well,
ball?
is he wide open?
He has been at times.
Tell me, because
He hasn't been open at
all
all.
22 I've seen, he's
No,
not.
no.
There are receivers that are wide open, but it hasn't been him.
But that's been his thing.
When did it become we only
that's
throw
his
to
thing? He
receivers
doesn't
if they're
get
wide
open?
No, he's always had a separation problem. Like
He's a 6th-round pick for a reason.
Bull, at some
I
point,
agree.
Are
No,
we
I
really-
get what you
do,
said.
Do you blame DPJ for him having this bad of numbers?
wait a
They
minute.
haven't thrown him the ball.
Yeah.
Let me address the 6th-round pick
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
At what point does a player lose his draft tag? Like
The point is he's overachieved to this point in his career.
okay, but
Yeah.
now you expect that level of production.
I didn't. I expected more.
Don't cut him.
I expected more. First of all, it's 5 games.
Right.
Guys get off. I know they're not comparable receivers, but Jamar Chase put up no numbers the first 2 weeks, and now he's like 9th in the league.
Yeah, but I was never going to blink on Jamar Chase.
No, I know
knew
that.
he was
I'm
going to
just
be
saying,
fine.
like, these things can ebb and flow. As the Browns quarterback, listen, DPJ's just a guy. I've been saying that for years when everybody else was saying, let's not add any wide receivers. We got DPJ. I wasn't those guys.
75 receiving yards is not good.
Do we agree that the quarterback play this season has been trash besides the Titans?
Yes, but
Okay,
also
so-
let's
Yeah, get in
put
there,
some
get in there.
context
Yeah.
on this. What year is this for him again? This is his what year?
His contract year.
Bam. Okay. And if
He's never getting a big contract no matter what he did.
great, but if
I don't know if he had
what
900
I do,
again.
what
he's
I
not
do-
contract?
not a huge bull. We're not saying we
Yeah.
expect him to be a top 10 receiver.
What I
I
know-
expect him to be a number 2, and
What-
those numbers are number 5.
What I know
Yeah.
from an organization standpoint, that is if the play caller and the offensive coordinator really value you and needs you in his offense, and it's a contract year, everybody knows that. They do a great job of putting the game together because ultimately they
call your number.
They want you to get paid.
All right.
That they want to see you get paid.
He was
Whether
never
it's
gonna
not
put up the
here,
same
Whether it's with the Browns or with somebody else, they still want you to get paid
I'm
because
just saying-
the coach and all
Yeah.
of that don't really. It's
But
upstairs that
don't you think Elijah Moore deserves way more criticism than
Yes,
Donovan Peoples-Jones?
absolutely.
Yes.
Now, okay.
1,000%.
But the two aren't
he does.
mutually exclusive.
Now here's
No, that's true.
let's give the actual, literal, real world reason why he's got 75 yards. First and foremost,
He don't get
he's
separation.
not explosive. Second of all, he does not have fluid hips. He does not have fluid ability to get in and out of
wasn't
cuts.
that Tyvis's knock at the combine?
But why did he do well last
Hold
year if
on.
he didn't have
I'm
those things last
going to
year?
give you that. I was ready for you. I was ready for you. Third, he does not run precise routes. He does not. And fourth, he gets no separation.
None of them
So
do, except for
if
Barnes.
you can't do all of those core things as a receiver, you're not going to appear open at all. So you're not going that way. And the reason he got those yards last year is because of this. Receivers who can utilize play action is a cheat code. When you hand the ball off to Nick Chubb 100 times, defenses come up, they're going to play the run, and now that play action, there's no linebackers dropping. Now you might get off coverage. Now you can sit down in the void of a zone. It's an easier throw.
No. His favorite route is the dig route. They bite and play action. That means the hook droppers have came up, and now you can hit that 10 to 12 yard dig window because nobody's there. But if the run game is not there, and we don't
that's
fear
exactly what
nobody,
G's saying,
then we
though.
backing up.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just
it.
explaining.
He just put
his
the
number
sauce on
one
it.
route is
He did. He
the
put the
dig.
sauce.
He put the Big Mac sauce on it.
Yeah.
Like
The
he
number
just-
one route that he was effective is the dig route.
Listen, Donovan Peoples-Jones has been terrible. The quarterback play has been terrible. Elijah Moore was acquired to be the number 2 receiver.
Yes.
He was drafted in the
ain't let
second
this
round.
go.
Well, no,
Everybody
he's
went-
right, but that's another conversation.
This is the amount of yards that Elijah Moore is on pace for. 568 yards.
Bull, nobody's arguing with that. That's a problem
That's-
too.
why
can't
But
both-
in
why
for this
can't both of them be
conversation, it was
right?
DPJ.
I'm fine, but why did we bring up DPJ before we bring up Elijah Moore? I
Because
don't understand that.
one is a
Because-
contract year.
A lot of
Who
reasons
cares?
too.
And he was one of your
How
returning
many
top
yards did he have
receivers.
last year? How many did Elijah Moore have last year?
300
Elijah
or
Moore had
something?
nothing last year.
Okay, so I mean,
The Browns skipped out on D-Hop for him.
And that was stupid, and I said that was stupid.
That's why it's a topic of
I'm just saying there's a lot that goes into it First of all, he was never going to get as many targets because they brought in Elijah Moore.
Well, he could take them now because it ain't like
Elijah Moore ain't getting no targets.
Well, Elijah Moore's getting targets. He is.
Not a lot.
Reverse
how many targets does he have?
36.
36.
In 5 games, that's
Over 7 a game. That's a lot.
7 a game.
7 a game.
That's a lot of targets.
What is again? If you're
16,
open,
he gets
you're going to be
16
targeted.
in 5 games.
I haven't seen
not
every
open.
play on the All-22 as you have, but the All-22s that I've watched and I've focused on him, I'm like, hell, no wonder he doesn't have any catches. He's covered like a blanket every play.
3 targets a game.
Bro, he got a turtleneck on, a blanket, a
Well, it's not
jersey,
it's not like
and a
he
pair
had
of
great
khakis.
separation last year.
But he still had 9 yards.
He covered head to
That's
toe.
the point.
But
That is the point.
No, the point is the passing game's been awful. That's the point.
one touchdown
Even in the best
in 5
passing
games.
game, the Tennessee game, what did he have?
I don't know. What was his
He
best
probably had
game?
1 catch.
Donovan
DPJ.
Peoples-Jones.
I mean, hell, he's got 75 receiving yards in 5 games.
He probably got it in 1.
This year, his game logs look like this. Against San Francisco, 1 target, 0 catches. Against Baltimore, 4 targets, 1 catch, 7 yards. Against Tennessee, 4 targets, 3 catches, 49 yards. Against Pittsburgh, 4 targets, 1 catch, 7 yards. Against Cincinnati, 2 targets, 1 catch, 12 yards.
I hope nobody got him.
I mean, I don't know.
Fantasy.
What is the point, though? Like, what are we trying to get to here?
I think
Yes,
the point is
I
he's your
expected
number
him-
2.
He's not. He wasn't supposed to be.
Well, I don't know that Elijah Moore hasn't done much. I mean,
We don't have-
statistically, it is Elijah Moore.
We don't have-
But still, here's what the overall topic is. It's a passing league. We all know that. Your wide receiving core through 5 games has caught 1 touchdown. It is overall, it's a huge indictment of the wide receiver room. But he is a guy who produced last year at a decent enough level that it's not unreasonable to think that he come back with 750 yards.
I think
he has 75.
I know, but he could still get to 750. I don't think he will.
I hope he does.
I think we knew that. We all
Yeah.
voiced our concern back when we was talking about the D-Hop thing. We all said that the only person that's guaranteed is Amari Cooper. Everybody else is a coin flip.
right.
But
And
back-
they all
They're
are
all guys.
not
but
doing
back
it.
But there were people here that were going nuts about Elijah Moore.
If you mention,
Which I never understood.
If you mention,
Yeah, and I never understood it.
If you mention
And Earl.
DPJs, if you
Wait
mention
a minute.
DPJs, or if you say DPJ in the summer, people was, oh, he's great. Don't you listen? You guys are way off
never said
target
that.
for DPJ. And I'm like, listen, he's a fine guy. He's a fine receiver. He's serviceable. He's a professional receiver. But let's not.
He's not a number 2. Did anybody really think of him as a number 2?
Wait a minute. Can I get the camera, Steve? Because I need to address something. Because bull. Now, just recently, here about 10 minutes ago,
recently.
I complimented Jason for coming to the camera and admitting that he was wrong. And I want to take this time out to say that I may have been misled a little bit about Elijah Moore.
Yeah,
You drank the Kool-Aid on Elijah Moore.
he had the propaganda out and everything.
It ain't too late. Who's to say he don't come out and get 750 yards?
Hey, anything's possible.
Bro, listen.
But based on what I've seen so far, it is highly
he
unlikely.
runs like he got a refrigerator on his back.
No,
Hey,
that
guys.
man is out here running a 4.72. Tyvis.
I would just
trust
say-
me, it don't look good. And
I
he
would
ain't
just
got
say-
no burst.
I think in the end, the quarterback play overall is more to blame, in my opinion, than the receivers.
Let's pump the brakes on it until we see the next 5 games with Deshaun Watson.
I may have been.
So here's what we'll do.
This
is
season
fair.
about to be over.
We'll come back and
No,
revisit.
no.
only week
Here's
6.
the thing. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
We know what he's been with 3 quarterbacks through 5 games.
Okay.
Not good. If Deshaun Watson is healthy for the next 5 games, let's revisit this after our 10th game, and we'll say, wow, look at him with Deshaun Watson. For the last 5 games, he's got 300 receiving yards.
Brad.
I don't expect that,
Let me ask you this.
but let's try it.
By the way, our guy Brad Stainbrook said that keep an eye on DPJ getting traded.
Who's going to want it?
I'll have to
By the way, he also was supposed to bring to the
Baggage.
table punt return skills.
Hey,
How's that worked out for
and
him?
by the way,
He's already lost that
Hey,
job.
where's this return game at?
He's lost the job. Darden's the guy now.
He's a terrible return guy. And listen, I have no hopes for DPJ really the rest of the season.
Right.
I'm just saying, I just think a lot of this is on the quarterback. The way they played.
All right, we gotta go to Mikey for a read.
I don't think we ever
We
gonna
got a
get
quick
DPJ
read, then
on
we got the
show.
Kool-Aid meter at the barbershop
No.
tomorrow on Thursday, 3 to 4 p.m. Make sure you
Safe
check out
bet.
G. Bush on the barbershop on the UCSS channel. Always entertaining. G. Bush gives out free stuff left and right. Make sure you guys check it out.
Guys, I got this. It is not a guarantee that Deshaun Watson is going to play. He has just started talking. Scott Petrak just tweeted, Browns Deshaun Watson says there's a chance he could play Sunday, but still depends on rehab.
Hey, good job.
Perfect.
Wait, what was that? Repeat that.
Deshaun Watson says, there's no quote in this tweet, but I'm assuming it's a quote. They just forgot to put quotes
Maybe
on.
a paraphrase.
Yeah, Browns Deshaun Watson says there's a chance he could play Sunday, but still depends on rehab. Scott Petrak just tweeted that out, which means he just started talking probably, and we'll see more.
So
tweets.
on my enthusiasm meter, I was at an 8. Now I'm like at a 5.
Well, that leads us right into the Kool-Aid meter, Jay.
Wait, can I
This is
say
what
one
we're
more
gonna
thing
get to.
about DPJ? my wife, who knows as
not
much
getting-
about football
we're
as
not
you can
getting
fit
them
in
on
this
the
Browns
show
helmet,
now, Jay.
For real?
has DPJ on her fantasy team, and here's what she said.
Cuddy.
Please bring up the point that he had 0 points for me in fantasy, and he's now off my team. So my wife has made the decision.
Your wife started DPJ?
I was about
She
to
did.
say, why
Well, her
did
receiver room is a mess. It's worse than the Browns. Sorry, babe.
We're going to get into the Kool-Aid meter. We've been talking about this for a while. Finally brought it out. G. Bush, the godfather of the Kool-Aid Mafia, has inspired this segment. Here's how it works.
Yeah.
I
Hold
gave-
on a second, Mike, before you do this.
I hate you, Bull. What are you doing?
It's not very nice. You love me, and it's not
You
nice
said you're
to
going to
say
punch
you.
me in the face on TV.
He did say that.
He's like, I hate you.
Do you want, but I didn't really want to punch you in the face.
I don't really hate
do
you.
you want the audio of Watson?
Yeah.
Can
I'll
we
listen.
use this?
No,
to
we
hate-
can't use it. It's in a locker room. Can't use it.
Oh,
Can I
my
listen to it for a second?
Wait, can China play it?
I don't know. Whatever. This is great radio. Great TV.
Keep talking.
If I talk, you're not going to be able to hear it, Bull. I'll just keep talking.
He doesn't listen to you anyhow.
Yeah, he's like,
All right, Bull, we'll do that later, Bull. We got stuff to get to right
Unsure if he'll practice today.
now. So it's TBD.
Go ahead.
TBD. So, as I was saying,
Kool-Aid.
we have the godfather of the Kool-Aid Mafia sitting on this panel. It
Yes,
is G.
sir.
Bush himself, and this segment was inspired by G. Bush. So here's how it worked. I gave
Wesley
each of you
Snipes.
four an individual statement, and you guys came back to me with a number of how high on the Kool-Aid meter you guys felt, how confident you felt in this statement. So we're going to start with Bull. And the statement I gave Bull is this Browns defense is going to go down with the 85 Bears and the 2000 Ravens as an all-time great defensive unit.
Oh, I
And
can't.
on the Kool-Aid meter, Bull said 3 out of 10. Bull, do you want to explain the 3 out of 10?
Where's our graphic? I've been waiting to see this.
No graphic?
Steve, you can take it whenever you're ready. Please, punch it.
I like that.
That's really good.
Green Kool-Aid.
He got the Swisher Sweet
oh,
going.
yeah, he did.
So here's what I'd say. The Browns defense has been fantastic through 5 games. But to me, it's insane that you would react that way at 3. Like, if you asked me about almost any other team, I'd say 0. All right? It's 5 games. The 85 Bears. Gee, you're not even old enough to remember the 85 Bears. What year were you born? 81, 82?
I was 4 at the time.
Yeah.
He was dancing to the
Okay.
Super Bowl shuffle. We've got
Jay,
video.
you were an adult, a young adult,
Oh, I remember that. I was 20.
and I was 14 years old, so I
Okay.
remember that plenty.
Yeah.
Man.
That was
Stop it.
Ooh, it's
They
ancient
killed
times.
outside of the one regular season game against the Dolphins where they lost.
Yeah.
Every other game they played that year, pretty much they destroyed their opponents.
I believe they averaged fewer than 10 points allowed. They were single digits in their points allowed per game.
Right.
Imagine that.
right.
What's the
So
Browns currently?
So
Well,
see, and that's the thing. They've played 5 games.
Yeah.
There is even giving them a 3, which I wouldn't do for any other team, is in a way insulting to the Bears because they, for 19 games, including the playoffs, were something I had never seen, and I don't think I've ever seen again.
You don't think the Ravens?
I
came
think
close?
they were the closest thing we've seen.
Because I think they too may have also allowed under 10 points. a
I
game.
think that Ravens team, and there was one Giant team also
Yeah.
with Lawrence Taylor in those guys.
Buccaneers, the year they won the Super Bowl,
But
had a great defense.
to think that they're going to get to that level after 5 games is unfair, and that's why I can only go.
Okay.
The fact that it's 3 means I think it's possible, which is insane because if you would ask me before this year, will we ever see a defense that's possibly as good as that one, I would have said no chance.
Well,
the
1
fact
would
that
mean it was possible.
and so that's why
So
I
you're
mean, I
up-
think 3 is pretty reasonable based on 5 games.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. Where would you guys have answered that?
I'm
I would have given more.
I'm from Cleveland, so it's a 10 for me. I'm
Jeepers
down,
might
I'm
be
down
11.
with the dog
Jeepers
pound.
might break the
It
Kool-Aid
should have been a
meter.
10.
Like this is bare minimum an 8. Bare minimum.
What they talking about, G?
Here's the reason.
You know how many
why.
Hall of Famers run that defense, G?
I
How
get
many
it.
Hall of Famers run this defense?
We don't know
We
yet.
don't know. We don't know yet.
We don't know yet.
If you had to bet right now, how many Hall of Famers?
I mean, they got one locked in. But here's the thing.
How many Hall of Famers? Check out how many Hall of Famers that Bears defense has.
4.
Well, my comrades
At
up here,
least.
the stat geeks, they all tell me, G. Bush, you guys are great with the numbers. You tell me this is a different era. People throwing the ball more. You got some of the best quarterbacks to ever live on the planet are right now. Tyrannosaurus Rexes and Raptors and all kind of scary dinosaurs that sling the ball 1,000 yards. Now listen, for the Cleveland Browns to be doing this in this era, with the high power octane offenses and some of the greatest quarterbacks in the game, I gotta say that at this point, it's very possible because they haven't just been playing like terrible no-name gangsters or people that's been cheeks. These guys are
phrases.
ball players.
Jeez.
We got Joe Burrow on that list, Christian McCaffrey, your boy Derrick Henry. We got the who's who.
Better than Josh Allen. Brock Purdy.
The Brock Purdy.
That's right. Can't forget him.
The who's who of all these teams.
Then the Browns have to win. If the Browns want to be with those teams, they got to win the Super Bowl.
Well,
Well,
my-
that's
okay.
that's
and
the
here
game
was-
that be on.
Okay.
And you just stole my thunder,
There it
but
is.
here was my point. When I saw this question, you can't be the New England Patriots undefeated team can never be discussed as one of the greatest teams ever.
Don't even
That's
talk
crazy.
about
Because they failed to close the deal.
Didn't it?
They
Don't even
lost
talk
to the
about
Giants in the
That's
Super
it.
Bowl. So for this to even be a thing, they have to win the Super Bowl.
That's it.
That's crazy.
Period. End.
Wouldn't that be something?
Full stop.
Wouldn't that be something?
Because the Bears defense led them to the Super Bowl. The Ravens, by the way, that year they won the Super Bowl with that great defense, averaged 10.3
And
points
by the
allowed
way,
per game.
neither of those teams had good quarterbacks.
They had Jim McMahon,
Right,
was
and
the
Trent
Bears
Dilfer.
quarterback, Trent Dilfer, and throw the Bucs defense in, Brad Johnson.
By the way-
So you've got to be so all-time great
Right.
that a mediocre to bad quarterback is carrying
That's
you
true.
to the
Although, in
trophy.
fairness, Brad Johnson had a great year that year.
He threw the ball unbelievably.
he was unreal.
If they win the Super Bowl with this defense, they're selling the rights to the Kool-Aid Mafia to Under Armour. For
You better get a lot of
undisclosed
money
amounts.
for that.
All right.
Well, next
I
up
think I
is
would be a
G.
little higher than Bull. I might be a 4, but man, a
8.
10 and an 8. God bless you guys.
Well, G's up next.
Hold on before you do it. I got another Watson quote.
There we go.
Breaking news
I mean, is
woven
this
into
not
the show.
important, Mike?
Breaking
I
news.
mean,
It's
Hey,
huge.
read it. Read it.
It's
I
huge.
got you.
Watson said when on how his throwing program has progressed, quote, "It's coming along. The arrow's been trending up."
Good.
Okay.
Better than
Does-
it's getting worse.
Does that change you from 5?
Yeah, my meter's like this right now. My meter's going like.
He told Watson also told Tom
Withers.
he's not sure he can get back to 100% this season, and he also said,
Nobody's
"I'm not
100%.
quote. I'm not going to put the team in jeopardy if I can't do certain things.
Good.
Quote, it's not so much the pain, it's more so if I can throw the football."
He confirmed it's the rotator cuff.
Yeah, I mean, we expected that, right? I mean, yesterday Mary Kay was very, very specific. It's one of the 4. It's the biggest of the 4 muscles involved in the rotator cuff. So we know that now. I still think I'm trending more towards him playing than not, but it's not. You know, earlier it was like a 7 or an 8 for me. Now it's like a 5, 5.5.